What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another F1 24 My Team Career Mode episode. Today, round 10, the Spanish Grand Prix. And yeah, overall, we're doing okay, I think, as team boss here of the Budo Andretti F1 team. We could be doing a few things better. Jarno is getting more and more used to the car, which is good to see, but is it a little bit too little, too late? Obviously, we've done our activities again, trying to prioritize our second driver, Jarno, and then just doing some upgrade scouting here. I think we're going to go more for tyre wear. There's not really many tracks right now, I don't think, that are looking at tyre wear, but it's always going to be helpful. So there we go, 21 days left of Jarno's contract with the team. The question is, do we continue? Do we sign him up again? And just kind of looking through the list of the drivers, Teo Porcher is pretty well rated compared to Jarno. The focus obviously isn't as high, but Jarno's got all his boosts active from our facilities, but overall rating of 70 as opposed to Jarno's 67. Teo Porcher, not a bad option for 1 million. And the same as Jarno. Also got Jamie Chadwick up there as well. Pretty similar, 69 rated there. Logan Sargent as well kind of caught my eye a little bit, just purely for the extra kind of experience. Maybe not so much racecraft, but again another higher rated driver for not too much more. We do pretty much have enough for Logan Sargent, and don't blame me. I was just looking. Okay, I was just having a look at Lance Stroll. Very highly rated driver, not too much of a market cost or market value. And again, just checking at Jamie Chadwick. Really want to strike the balance between someone who is highly rated and the cost it would bring to the team, and also not someone so highly rated that they really show me up and embarrass me. Because again, I'm the boss and it's my call.
Our new parts have completed without issue
to do that.
They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Or to not do that. So we've got a new powertrain upgrade, but it is the Spanish Grand Prix. Practice first. As you know, I always speed these up, just purely no one wants to see menu simulator, no one wants that. But yeah, just purely going for the other two. I like to leave the race strategy and do that in practice 3. It does mean I have to do it on softs, which is not ideal, but that is it. Here is a little bit of that race practice. Now, the car felt pretty good for the most part, but I was getting some sort of mid-corner understeer and the high-speed corners, and then it would often switch completely over to oversteer in some really kind of inconsistent moments. And I don't know if that was just the tire wear that was kicking in, because it's always the right-hand turns of the high speed. I had to be careful in this sort of long right-hander of essentially turn 3. This sort of lower medium speed turn was okay. Here I would lock up clearly and spin the rear. I think I just got on the grass a little bit there with my right tyres. But you can see from the tyre wear how much kind of thermal degradation there was happening at this track. And I had all fully maxed out tyre pressures, so that shouldn't really be much of a thing at all. But there was just nothing I could really do here. I can only assume it was just something in the setup that wasn't quite working right. And yeah, I couldn't figure out in the time frame I had with practice what was really going wrong. But it's just something that kept happening. Obviously, don't touch that inside curb there. There's a very dangerous curb to touch. This corner was alright. That was absolutely fine. It's this corner, mid-corner understeer, almost every single time was throwing me out into the gravel. But I almost didn't really want to sacrifice that last corner. I didn't want to lift off too much or brake even, because obviously that is the corner that leads onto this long pit straight, as we do just about keep the car out of the wall. It was very sketchy indeed. But you can just see under significant load on the tires. So the higher medium and high speed, the back end of the car was just wanting to step out. I did reduce the wing gap, so the difference between the front wing and the rear wing, I made them closer together, which was causing a lot of that understeer because I didn't want to raise the rear wing too much and bring more downforce, purely because I wanted the speed down the straights, because the DRS, it's powerful. Obviously, it's always going to be powerful, but on this track as well, where the longest straight is essentially one of the only real straights you can overtake down. Obviously, you can overtake into braking zones at the end of the sort of long-ish straights, but nowhere is as good as turn 1, which obviously means you need a good exit from the last corner.
It's a Catalonian qualifying for you today. Welcome along to Spain, to Barcelona, and wherever you are in the world. Do you feel the need? The need for speed?
He had to do it, didn't he? He had to drop in the reference. But anyway, yeah, you need a good exit from the last corner and then good straight line speed, which here I was lifting a lot more from the last corner, and it did work well. So kind of just lifting off, I knew, okay, I'd be safe in the last corner, because it was just understeer. There was no kind of oversteer moment into that final corner if I lifted off. Now, Q1, obviously it's a little bit cooler today, I think, the temperature, so it might help out the tyres a little bit. I had to take a couple of stabs there into turn 4. Now we've got the sort of downhill braking into turn 5, the heaviest, sort of slowest corner even on the circuit. And at this corner right here, I was trying to cut as much as I could, really getting over those sausage curbs on the inside just to really rotate the car. And it was that corner just before the sort of second DRS zone in the circuit that I was really struggling with the oversteer. I'm not really sure what happened there. A little pause of frustration. A little pause of frustration. You can just see it just suddenly goes from turning to just not turning at all. And then back to turning again. There's something very strange happening with this car this race weekend. It must be purely setup related though. It must be. But I would have thought if it was setup related, it would be consistent, you know, but it wasn't. And you'll notice even in this lap, which is the second lap of Q2, where we've gone out with 5 minutes to go, sorry, second lap of Q1, that was me, that was all skill issue, that was me riding the sausage curbs in the apex of turn 2, I guess you would call that. Here I get a nice sort of connection towards the apex, good acceleration out, but we didn't do it as well as we did on the previous lap. Now, down towards what I'm now going to call Sketch City, because it is very sketchy for this car. That corner wasn't too bad, I was maybe being a bit overcautious there, but here, I'm just struggling a bit, but I was so down on the time, I thought, I'm going to just go again. We do have enough fuel just about for one more lap here. We won't be able to come back in to get another run in, but we really need to get at least one half decent lap. We're in P22, as Mark was reminding me, is again, I wasn't over revving the engine, the gear wasn't going crazy. It was just a little bit of acceleration, the back end would step out. It was very, very strange. I could not understand this at all. But here we go. Decent exit from the last corner. We're already up on our time. Let's see what we can do through this lap. Into turn 1. Braking down into 4th gear. Turning the wheel hard. Preparing for the second turn and then the long right-hander. Let the car drift out slightly. And then bring it back in for the run-up. here. The fourth gear right-hander. Be careful on the throttle. You don't want to end up in that grass and the gravel on the outside there. Down into third, hard left-hander. Really open up the car, get all over the curb and put the power down. We are 3/10 down so far, but all of our time is in the last sector. A little bit of a squirrely moment there. Is a little bit wide and a little bit in the gravel, I would say, on that very fast right-hander before the DRS zone. Now through this last section, we've just got to keep it in one piece. We do have a bit of time in hand. Now we've got no reference of how fast we're going with the Delta, because this is all after the sort of half spin that we made on our very first outlap. Up to the line, 1.9 seconds improvement puts us into P18, which is not enough to get us into Q2 on this occasion. We do drop eventually to P20, sort of sitting just above Valtteri Bottas, but Pierre Gasly, our rival, in P9. That is definitely not ideal for us. On to the race.
Welcome along, everyone, to sunny Spain, specifically to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. So many great moments in Formula One history have been written at this very track over the years, including Michael Schumacher's first win for Ferrari back in '96. That win was in the rain. We might have better weather here today, but we're just as overjoyed to be at the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and we welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector, shortening lap times and reducing the total running to 2.9 miles and 14 turns. This was actually the original setup for the track, but it hasn't been used since 2007.
Here we go. There was an issue with the recording, but I'll let you know about it in a second. All the lights are on. Now they're out in Catalunya, in Spain, for the Spanish Grand Prix. We get a terrible amount of wheel spin. Jarno's going lightning up the outside there, as you can see. He's just behind Valtteri Bottas. We're going to look at diving down the inside of Logan Sargent as we do so. Dive bombing both the Haas's as well, for good measure. Really just trying to make up some positions. Everyone around us is on the soft compound tyre, and right now we're really just trying to force our way forwards, bully our way up into the higher standings. We dive bomb Hulkenberg as that everyone's going very slowly in towards that hander there. We do a bit of wheel banging as well, and then now going to try and follow them through. There's no real way to go side by side here unless you want to lose all of the time in the world. We get up on the curb a little bit. There's a little bit of oversteering. We spin the car back into the middle of the track, and we've ripped off our front left wheel. Oh. One moment leading to another moment, leading to the gravel. Here's the onboard from the car that was just behind us. You can see we get all up on the gravel and the car just won't slow down. We end up back on the circuit facing the wrong way. And there was nothing we could do. We were just a passenger after we touched that gravel. Just all of the replays in the world here. You can just see everyone slowing down, trying not to crash. And this is the onboard from Jarno. The onboard from Jarno. He tries to sneak up the inside of about 3 cars. And instead, both of the Budo Andretti F1 team cars are out of the race on lap 1 in Spain.
The checkered flag is out. We're going to be hearing that Dutch national anthem again, because it's victory for Max Verstappen.
Well, that's 2 wins in a row for them now. That's really going to help them gain confidence and start to build that momentum that they're really going to be looking for.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So there you go. Obviously not at all the race we were wanting. It's the race Red Bull and McLaren were wanting. They have cars on the podium. We have cars or rather parts of cars, sat somewhere near each other in the garage with mechanics carrying around a box of tissues. That was absolutely horrible. Shades of Mercedes of 2016, was it? I think so.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Crofty, I understand there's more than just 2 cars in Formula 1, but that was not a fantastic weekend for us. Obviously, Verstappen comes home first, then Norris, Perez, Leclerc, Piastri, Russell, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll in 10th, then Pierre Gasly, devastating blow for us in the rivalry, followed by his teammate Ocon, then Albon, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Zhou Guanyu, Logan Sargent, Valtteri Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo, and the 2 idiots of Budo Andretti F1 team crashing into each other. There was nothing we could do. There was absolutely nothing we could do in that situation. We had the mid-corner oversteer, which I think was induced because we had a little bit more front grip than I was expecting. We touched the inside curb. This is the entire race replay, by the way. It's not the highlights like normal, because there are no highlights. There's literally no highlights. The game does not have the option for highlights. It only had view replay. So there you go. There's low lights, I think, but that's it. But anyway, we touched the inside curb. That caused a little bit of it. Well, it unsettled the car. That then induced a bit of the oversteer that we were already having issues with. I managed to correct that, but it sent us out wide. We then touched the gravel on the outside. The car completely got away from us. There was nothing we could do, and we'd ended up back in the middle of the circuit. Now this is Jarno's on board for the whole race. He had a flying start. He would have absolutely destroyed us. He almost got Bottas on the inside as well. I believe that was Bottas. And he was looking to go down the outside. An okay strategy here, an okay line, because everyone's trying to go for the inside. So the outside often just opens up quite well. And then he just kind of gets elbowed out a little bit of the corners here. He's sort of side by side with his Zhou now. I'm not entirely certain. But one of the kick Sauber cars. And yeah, he's just getting a little bit muscled out, which is unfortunate. Wasn't really able to carry his pace around the outside, and the same issue there. So he's getting a little bit bullied around, which is normal in lap 1. He's just playing it patient. And right here, when everyone slows down because of our accident, you could see our car wiggle off the road. He goes to go the outside route on the right hand side, but the idiot teammate and team boss, so he can't really call me an idiot, but I am an idiot. I was on the wrong side of the track, facing the wrong way because of a silly mistake. But that's it for this race. Next week we have Austria, so I'll see you guys then.